Many people believe that our lives are defined by a singular, pivotal moment. A moment that defines our lives on earth as one that will live forever. The truth is, there is no singular moment that can sum up our time here on earth. We have good memories, bad memories, sad memories, and funny memories that add so much value to our lives. For my grandma, Sharon Lynn Morgan, one memory simply isn't enough to explain the triumphs, hardships, laughter, tears, and love that she has experienced over the last 70 years of her life. Her life story looks something like this. My grandma was born on October 29, 1949 to parents James and Marceline Trammell here in Chicago, Illinois.
I was born in Chicago in 1949 in the month of October.
Growing up in a nuclear family, my grandma got the best of both worlds, a loving mother and a loving father.
My family lived on the west side of Chicago. I was an only child of a working father and a stay-at-home mother. And we were pretty happy. We were a little poor, but we loved each other.
For as long as I can remember, my grandma was always a very strong and powerful black woman. But even she had some of her challenges during her childhood. Challenges that I thought could never happen.
At the age of 10, I was diagnosed with scoliosis, and I had to have a back fusion, and I had to lay flat in the bed for 6 months. After that, I had a cast on for 6 months, and being isolated when you're 10, you can't go outside or anything. So it had a profound effect on me. And then, getting back and going back to school. So it had an effect on my life when I was younger.
Although my grandma was raised to be an only child, she never felt lonely in her life. She always had a bunch of cousins that she could play around with and talk to and just chat it up, even until this very day.
Not just one person, it was a lot of people, all of my cousins. I was an only child, but my mom had 5 sisters and they had a lot of kids, so I was very close with all of my cousins. So I took a little bit from probably most of them, and I loved them all very much.
My great-grandma, Marceline, and my grandma were the first Catholics in our family. Although my great-grandfather James wasn't Catholic, my grandma made sure that our family continued the Catholic tradition until this very day, with my mom, my uncle, and eventually me and my older sister.
My mom had a girlfriend who went to a Catholic church and her child was in Catholic school, so she convinced my mom to put me in Catholic school. And during those times, one or both your parents had to become Catholic if your child went to school. So my mother became Catholic, and so that's how we became Catholics.
My grandma's work ethic is one of her most admirable qualities, which is something that she still carries with her this very day.
My very first job, I believe it was at Social Security Administration. I was like a mail clerk, and I was fresh out of high school, so I didn't know much about working, but you learn on your feet, and it really was nice because when you have your first job, you have a measure of becoming an adult, and you feel grown, but you sometimes don't act grown. And your first job gives you a chance to grow up.
As my grandma began to experience her first taste of freedom in adulthood, the assassination of Martin Luther King, along with the fight for civil rights and equality, was beginning to tear the Black community apart.
It didn't impact my childhood so much, more so after Martin Luther King got killed. During that time, I was a teenager, so the riots and the marches, it made me really think about being Black in America.